I have it at 8 o'clock. Welcome to the May 18, 2026 Commissioners Meeting. There are Title VI forms in the back corner if you want to fill one of those out and return it to the auditor's office. And Matthew Spear, our new Animal Shelter Director, can you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And if you can remain standing, Brian's going to lead us in prayer.
Heavenly Father, we just ask you here today to watch over us, guide us as we make decisions for the county. We thank you for this beautiful weather we had today, and we look forward to Memorial Day weekend as we honor all of those who have helped us with this great country. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right, starting first with the May 4th minutes.
I don't see anything. It looks pretty good to me.
I'll entertain a motion.
I'm gonna make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to the May 8th executive session minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the May 8th executive session.
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. All right, claims.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to payroll for the week of May 8th, 2026 in the amount of $436,874.50.
Nothing looked out of the ordinary to me.
Same here.
I make a motion to approve payroll.
I'll second that motion.
Go ahead.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. All right, Doug Westerfeld, APC.
I have 7 rezoning files that I need signatures on. Okay, the first one's petition ABC 2025-9. It's for John Marcelletti on behalf of Charles Redmond to rezone 0.23 acres from A1 to A2. This was for a cell tower.
All right, it looks like all members present voted in favor. There's one seat that's vacant and 2 were absent, so there were 6 yeses, no nos.
You say going from A1 to A2. What's the difference between those two?
So A1 is agriculture.
Right.
A2 is agriculture if you want to put a residence on it or if you want to put a cell tower. So our ordinances read that if you're going to put a cell tower, you have to come in front of our APC to get rezoning to go from A1 to A2. And then they also have to go in front of the BZA for the height variance.
Do you see any of this?
Nope.
All right. I'll make a motion that we approve 2025-9.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
The next is petition 2025-23. It's for Doug and Teresa Vanderberg to rezone 2.99 acres from A1 to A2 to build a primary residence.
Doug, I'm guessing on this one, where there's no yes or no's, those were just absent.
Those were absent.
Okay. So all present voted in favor, 1 vacant seat, 2 absent. Any discussion, any questions?
I do not.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries.
The next is petition 2025-29.
Okay, we had 5 yeses, 1 no, 2 absent. Was there some debate on this one, Doug?
There was a property owner that did come to the meeting, so I think that was why you got the 1 nay. I think they felt like it was possibly too close to their property, but they met all the ordinance requirements. I think that same property owner, they approached them about putting it on their property, and they didn't want it on their property, so typically they go to the next property.
I got you. Are there any property owners, adjacent property owners, or concerned citizens that would like to speak to the Jason Riggs petition 2025-29 here today? Hearing none. Any other questions?
I would make a motion to accept.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? Motion carries.
Next is petition 2026-2 is for Mark Eden to rezone 2.99 acres from A1 to A2 to build a primary residence.
All members present, all members voted in favor. All right, I'd entertain a motion for 2026-2.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, voted in favor.
I would make a motion to accept.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries.
The next item is Wayne and Shanae Spear to rezone 2.99 acres from R4 to A2. This property was out by Clarksburg, that's why it was.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
the one where the alleyway.
Yes.
One member absent, the remaining members voted in favor.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
And the last one is Aaron and Kristen Ogle to rezone 2.99 acres from A1 to A2. This is petition 2026-8.
All members were present, all members voted in favor. I'd entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? Motion for 2026-8 is approved.
Thanks, Doug.
Thank you.
You have any update on the comp plan, Doug?
We had total,
Well, he's getting picked up here, too.
Another copy of this
yep,
last page.
Update on the comp plan. We had 75 surveys from the time that we announced this last public meeting. They closed out the survey. They'll close it out today. We did not have any steering committee meetings in the month of May. Our next steering committee meeting is June the 4th. We'll take a look at basically a rough plan and then and put some action steps together to start formalizing the public draft of the comp plan.
Any other questions for Doug?
I do not.
Very good. Thank you, Doug.
All right, thank you.
Tim Ortman, Highway Department.
Morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
To start off with the battery storage system project going up on 400 North. So they did do some improvements on 250 West, as you were aware of. So they pretty much finalized their transportation plan. So the manual of uniform traffic control devices is what they have to follow on their signage. So the PE's got that finalized. The new signs will be going up. So if everybody wants to know why, when, or where, it is to comply with the standards they have to for manual uniform traffic control devices. The other part of their transportation plan is, now it looks like all the main loads are gonna come in off of 3 to 400 North, be unloaded, the empty trucks will go out 250 south, so they're not passing and meeting on each other. But we are already seeing some damage on the road shoulders on 400 North up there. So they are gonna go in there and do some improvements on the shoulders prior to, for safety, but also to hopefully cut down deterioration when it does happen, okay? They'll be using the county standards as far as the stone on the shoulder when they're done, for say drop-offs, et cetera, et cetera. That road also doesn't really have approaches to the mailboxes. So with the mailbox, when they drive off, drive back on, it tears the road shoulder up. So they'll be installing mailbox approaches and moving the mailboxes back a little bit. So that will be the work taking place. So Dave O'Meara is the contractor they've selected, okay? So they'll be doing the work. Like I said, they understand the county specs and everything. So that will be taking place. Highway 3 intersection also needs improved. Even though it's an NDOT project, they got to coordinate with NDOT. We pledged our support, the highway department did, that, yeah, widen that intersection would be a big safety factor, help off of Highway 3. So they got to coordinate with them on that. So that'll be taking place here, kicking off shortly. I guess probably about 2 weeks, they'll get rolling out, or 3 weeks, something like that, on that. So, Northeast 8, we pulled them from Monday the 11th to Thursday the 14th. So we had the results back today. So anyway, basically, they went up 1,473 vehicles a day average, which was a 47% increase in traffic. So yeah, there's a substantial amount of traffic increase, and it's only gonna get worse out there. So that's the
And
result.
that's your day-to-day during the week.
That's day-to-day during the week,
Put
not
it on a
weekends.
weekend, and it'd be interesting to see even the more, increase in traffic.
And I think it's gonna continue, the more people learns that route, I think it's gonna continue to increase.
I mean, I think just the number of people that are using GPS that says get off here.
Yep.
You can tell when there's something going on that's slowing traffic down out there because there's a sudden increase in traffic.
So do we wanna have Chad go ahead and follow up with the resolution? Is this a supplement to that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I'll get with Chad on that then. So, 421 construction, NDOT projects due to kick off. June the 1st will be the bridge by 5 Points. They'll be closing it down, for a deck replacement on it. After Memorial Day, the 26th, they plan on starting a drainage structure down the south end of the county. So they'll be, most of the time, they're gonna have 2 different projects going at the same time on that road. The unofficial detours are in place on that road already. So, we've requested, they're doing a pretty good job. They're doing a great job, I think. Coordinate with dispatch on this one. They've got dispatch a call down list of contacts if there's any issues out there. They got them map all the locations, and they're getting them a schedule so they'll know what's coming when, since there's gonna be so much happening in different places out there. So, do appreciate them working together to get on that. We've had 12 applications turned in for employment applications. The HIPS grant, the LIDAR grant we've talked about, Greensburg is interested in partnering with that grant to do Greensburg also. So it looks like it's gonna be a co-application on that deal. We're at least looking at it that way. We did have an interesting situation, of course, the fiber going across the country. We had a company approach us about putting fiber in the county and stuff, and through conversation, one thing that really came out was kind of interesting in that the Indiana dig law states that any private utilities, the landowner is required for locating. Okay, so when you have a water meter, your service line is up to you to locate it, but you don't get notified by the 811 dig law. So we request this company to facilitate with the landowners and hire a private locator at their expense to locate these, also the gas lines, et cetera. They have agreed to do this, okay? But we would like to work with area plan. I don't know if the ordinance is gonna fit with them. We'd like to have an ordinance when the county that says any service provider utility that's doing this, they have to work with the landowners. They have to pay for the private locate. Plus, the other thing is if they would hit it, it'd be the landowner's expense to fix it, even though they weren't really located, you know what I mean, notified. So we'd like to put that back on the excavator and the,
On both of those points,
As long
paying
as,
for that.
yeah, as long as we have that in writing.
yes,
Their requirement is to pay for any damage.
yes, yes.
That would be caused, so it's not passed on to the homeowner.
Yes, we had them get a hold of DNR. We put them DNR for the gas wells so they can identify the gas wells. Because a lot of the gas wells came from the old gas companies, like Westport and Indiana, and then they turned them gas wells over to private individuals. A lot of times they got to keep the infrastructure that run along the county roads. So when you call and locate, it don't get done. Nobody knows it's there. So they're working with DNR to get that information. Yeah, we'll get that in writing, but yeah, we'll proceed going down that direction. So, the annual report was submitted successfully, so that's done, kudos. The new model year pickups are getting ready to get released, so they do not have pricing on them yet because of the new model year. So hopefully by the June 15th meeting, the new model year pricing is in place, and Enterprise can bring the official quotes to look at them. So, and the only other thing I got, looking at dump trucks pricing, we bought them through Sourcewell before. So Sourcewell is a pre-negotiated pricing with the federal government for manufacturers. So what we're asking is go ahead and get 3 different quotes from 3 different manufacturers on dump trucks through the Sourcewell program. Since you can't really match specs perfectly for bidding purposes, use the Sourcewell and do 3 different quotes. So I'd like to go ahead and get them quotes and bring it back and start having.
I'd say go with the quotes and just see where you come in at.
That's what.
Does Sourcewell also do, like specific things you need for each dump truck, or if you're,
Yeah,
if
it's
you're
like
needing,
snowplow equipment stuff.
right,
We'll
attachments and so
Yeah,
forth?
we'll use Sourcewell pricing, so that way we don't have to bid. We already have the pre-negotiated price.
Okay.
Yes, so that's I'm requesting permission to go ahead and solicit quotes utilizing that format.
Yeah.
We'll do at least 3 manufacturers.
And when you're doing dump trucks, are you doing tandem axles, triaxles?
We're
What are
gonna
you
do
looking at?
both. We wanna see, I wanna compare apples to apples.
Okay.
See how this thing comes in, see where our best bang for our buck's at.
How many are you looking to purchase?
3.
3, okay. And do you have a preference on whether triaxle or tandem in those, or?
I mean, triax works the best, or the most efficient, but, you know, it all comes into pricing. I mean, if we get a really bodacious price, you know, we gotta look at it. Preferably, it's gonna be triaxle. You know, you're hauling 15, 20
Open, or has that closed?
close now. Yep.
Okay. Very good.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Tim.
Thanks, Tim.
Andy?
He's here.
Oh, there we go. Didn't see you back there. How you doing?
Andy Sholey. I'm here on county surveyor business, which we don't have usually much of. A month or 2 ago, I met with 6 other county surveyors up in Rush County. They're wanting to put together the Flat Rock River Water Development Commission, which it's kind of like a regulated drain. State statute spells out regulated drains. We don't really have regulated drains in this county. There's a couple watersheds in Rush that come into Decatur, but we don't have any other regulated drains here. I think this all started in Henry and Rush County, where that's the majority of Flat Rock runs through all their county, and they get so many, trees and debris and beaver dams and a lot of obstructions. So they're looking to work with the other 7 counties, to put together an ordinance. DNR helps with all this. They're the ones that gave us a sample ordinance. They did this in a county in 2024, and it seems to be working well in that county. I forget the name of it. It's down in the southwest part of the state. All 7 counties would have the same ordinance. There would be whatever the rates are, those would be the same for all the counties, because you know, from the initial meeting we've had, we haven't had a second meeting yet, but to me, it sounds like it's a good plan, because if we don't go along with it, and all the other counties do, that water's going to be coming through Decatur County at a very fast speed, and it's going to hit a bunch of trees and debris, you know, in Decatur County, and then it's just going to flood out into the citizens of Decatur County, you know, out into their fields. I just haven't heard much else back from the other counties yet. I think Rush County, they're kind of heading it up. Let's see.
Who pays for the cleanup, the tree removal?
It'll
ban?
all be the landowners that are affected by it. It's like that's just the way, you know, regulated drains work. They take into consideration the amount of acreage that drains into that river or ditch, and then there's a set rate, you know, $5 an acre, and that is put onto their property taxes, and then the county collects that. So if the county needs to have it cleaned out, like the way I understand it, I would go out, take pictures, get quotes from some excavating companies, you know, possibly work with neighboring counties. I'd bring them quotes back to you guys. You would pick which company you want to use to remove the obstruction. And, you know, if that bill is $50,000, it would be divided up, prorated by the acreage and the amount of people, how many parcels go into that, like drain into the Flat Rock River. And then that's added to their tax bills over 3-year period, 5-year period, something like that, to reimburse the county. It's just, you know, a separate fund is set up, so it shouldn't cost the county any money, but it's going to cost the citizens that live along the Flat Rock to help maintain it and make sure that that water is continuing to flow the way it should.
So then also the ordinance would require that the excavator or whoever's coming in to clean out these issues has automatic right of way to traverse.
Per state code, for regulated drains, it's 75 feet from the bank of the river in each direction. So if you adopt this ordinance, that's already spelled out that the right of way is given. You know, you got at least 75, you got 150 feet plus the width from bank to bank for people to work. So we wouldn't need to get any additional easements or surveys or anything like that.
Just getting the equipment to the property, or
Yeah.
getting the equipment to that area. But the thing that I'm listening, and it's very subjective on who is paying and how much. I think that's where the argument would come in. If I was a landowner and I'm like, well, that's down the river. That isn't my responsibility, or why am I paying for that? That's where it gets convoluted, in my opinion.
Right.
Very subjective on how much the rate and who we're charging and how we're gonna pay for, that's difficult.
Well, and also, I look at it as it is a public waterway
Right.
that anybody can be on it at any time. And then by this ordinance, we are,
Regulating that public waterway.
It's your responsibility.
well,
That's where I'm.
yes, but at the same time, it's hard because it's a public waterway. Anybody can go walk right down the middle of the river. And you aren't trespassing on anybody's land. You can go fishing down it, you can go boating down it, no issue. But now we're imposing a additional fee for cleanup when it's really under DNR's jurisdiction.
Well, and one big rain can move the mess from one property
Yep.
owner to the next.
Yeah.
I understand the spirit of it. It makes sense to make sure that water's flowing so we don't have flooding.
Right.
I get it. It's just, it always comes down to who's paying for it.
On page 16, this was like an example DNR came up with, you know, like if it was a residence, the way I understood it, say there's just a 2-acre parcel there with.
Andy, these don't have page numbers. What's the heading on the page?
Flat Rock, Hall, Hawk 8. It's near the back. It's like should be the second to last page.
Okay.
But the way I understand it, is, this example that DNR put together, if you have a 2-acre residence, you just pay $7. And these rates are all negotiated through the different counties, depending on how much work has to be done. And then, like it says, if it's agricultural land and you got 50 acres draining into it, they said $1 an acre.
Okay.
So
That's
all-
minimal. Yeah.
it all depends on what does the excavating, what's it going to cost to remove this obstruction? And obviously, in the beginning, I'm sure there's going to be a lot more expense because it hasn't been properly cleaned out, and that's why they're trying to put together this Watershed Development Commission. Once it gets cleaned out, then it should be a lot less expensive.
Regular maintaining it.
Yeah, then it's just maintaining it, which it's never properly been maintained, and that's why Rush County, Henry County are looking into this process to try to work with the other counties. And then, if no work needs to be done, after the 3 to 5 years, that falls off their tax bill. You don't keep paying and putting money in a pool. You have the work done first. They figure out how soon does the county want to recoup the money, and then that's put on someone's tax bill, which is the way every regulated drain works in the county, which is most of the counties up north. The flatter the county, they have to maintain these drains because you get farmers that argue with each other, and then someone won't clean it, and then it just backs up, and they get a lot more lawsuits. I just wanted to bring this to your attention. There's no decisions to be made. There's contact information from the 2 ladies at DNR that presented it that are kind of heading these up. I think they're working on another one somewhere else in the state.
I like the idea. I like the idea of maintaining the waterways. It's just, again,
I know.
it comes down to,
I know.
that's not, somebody's gonna say that's not my responsibility, or I don't know why I'm paying for that.
I know.
And that's the tough part for us to enforce that payment of something that,
Well, that last part that you said, Andy, is kind of what was striking me anyways on this, is that if there is something that a property owner is doing on their property that is causing damage to somebody else, there's already a mechanism for you
Enforcement.
to go and get a remedy, and that's by filing a lawsuit. Instead of spreading the burden out everywhere. I don't know. I'll have to think about this.
I know, and like I said, I only had one meeting on this, so if you guys have other questions, you can send them to me, and I will try to get answers for you. The last page has the contact information for the 2 ladies from DNR that did the presentation.
I'd love to hear more from them. Can you have them maybe see if they can come to a meeting?
Yeah,
yeah.
And
And we'd like to give this
and we
ordinance
can-
to our attorney too.
and we can hear what they have to say, and then we can make a decision
yeah.
kind of on what we.
I'll talk to Rush County and see where,
Yeah.
what kind of feedback is he getting from the other 6 counties?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because like I said, it's a Watershed Development Commission, there's like all 7 counties. It's not just us,
Right.
but we're part of it.
Sure.
So I'll talk to DNR, see if they can come to a meeting, see where,
On the bridge there on 421, there's always significant amount of flooding down in that river valley. But,
And also, I see the issue of everybody upstream cleans.
yep, and it just comes rushing down.
Makes the water that much faster.
It does. I mean,
But
what you're saying makes sense.
Yep.
I know,
At some point, it's gonna do that somewhere regardless, because
I know. I don't want, if it comes rushing down quicker from
Yeah.
the north,
Yeah.
I don't want it to damage the property and crops of the Decatur County citizens because we don't want to,
We want to keep it moving.
yeah, keep it moving straight on down and go
Right.
through to the next county. I don't know. I just thought I'd better bring it to your attention. And they did send me an example ordinance that they have. I will try to email that out for all 7 counties as far as the procedures.
Thank you.
A lot to chew on there. Thanks,
All right,
Andy.
Thank you, guys.
All right, Ms. Nobby, Health Department. Good morning.
Morning.
All right, so we've applied for and have, can you? Hello, okay. We've applied for and have been awarded a grant from the Food and Drug Administration and the National Environmental Health Association. That grant is broken down into two parts. It's a $5,000 reimbursement once deliverables have been met. I'm trying to pull up here we go. $5,000 once deliverables have been met, and then a $3,500 reimbursement for the training portion. So the deliverable part, that is just where we need to complete a self-assessment within the health department, seeing where we align with the FDA Retail Food Protection Program, having that assessment audited by someone else who is already FDA standardized, and I've already got someone secured for that, and then completing a strategic plan to help ourselves align more with the FDA Retail Food Protection Program. So basically, this grant is going to cover us to go to a training in Kansas City, Missouri. It will pay for the registration, the flights, and the hotel. And the $3,500 portion is reimbursed based on how much we spend, up to $3,500. I gave you guys kind of a breakdown of that. I'm only planning for $2,700-ish. And that will cover myself and Allie Myers at the health department too, so it's not just one person. And then the $5,000 will be reimbursed as a full amount at the end of the grant cycle. So basically, we're asking for you guys to accept that, approve it.
All funds that you'll be spending all come from the grant.
Yeah.
No,
Looks very interesting.
great, yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited.
That's good. Yeah, yep, that's good.
I'll make a motion to accept the grant proposal.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Brady Claxton, McGowan Insurance.
Good morning.
Morning, Brady.
We have the May 22nd, 2026 property liability, auto, work comp, and cyber liability insurance renewal. We approached multiple insurance companies this year at the renewal. Travelers is the incumbent insurance carrier on the bulk of the lines of coverage, and Liberty Mutual did provide a competitive proposal this year. Bliss McKnight was another company we approached that can write the liability. They ended up declining a couple weeks ago. The Parks Department exposure, I think, was just a little bit too much for them and what their appetite is for risk with county government. IPEP is the current workers' comp insurance company. We did get a competitive proposal from a company called West Bend on the workers' comp, and then $1 million to $105 million. Part of that increase is the new building out at the fairgrounds, and then we also keep up from a cost of construction standpoint. We always add an inflationary increase on our property values each year to keep up with the cost of construction. Our budget increased about $1.2 million, which drives the public entity management liability premium. Our employee count increased from 215 to 230 total employees, which drives the employment practices liability premium. So all in all, we're just talking about where Travelers ended up on the renewal. The expiring premium is $376,000 for their lines of coverage, and their renewal premium came in right at $400,539. That is a 6.2% increase over last year. About half of that is exposure increases. Like I said, those property values increasing, the vehicle count, employee count, and then the other half would be just what the rate increase from Travelers, and mainly attributed to the auto liability and the umbrella lines of coverage. Where the market has been this year, the market is getting better from an insurance standpoint. The last 3 to 5 years have been really difficult. You've been seeing really those double-digit increases on insurance rates. And this year, it's getting a lot better. So 6.2%, I'd say really what we're seeing from a market standpoint with most of our municipalities is right around that 9%. So you guys were there at 9% with Travelers, but that competition from Liberty Mutual helped drive that down some. Liberty Mutual came in a little bit less than Travelers. They came in at at $385,430. So that is a $15,000 difference. I still would, it would be our recommendation to renew with Travelers, and that for a few reasons. Travelers has shown more stability in the marketplace than Liberty Mutual over the last couple of years. Liberty Mutual has gotten off of a lot of county governments when there are, when they have claims, mainly related to the law enforcement liability lines. So Travelers has been a little bit more stable in the marketplace. Plus, Travelers has better deductibles than Liberty Mutual in several areas. Liberty Mutual's flood and earthquake deductibles are $100,000 compared to Travelers at $25,000. The employment practices liability, which if an employee sues the county for harassment, wrongful termination, discrimination, those claims, the Travelers deductible is $10,000 instead of $25,000 with Liberty Mutual. Liberty Mutual has a water damage deductible of $50,000 that Travelers does not have. So if a pipe burst in one of our buildings due to freezing or anything else, Liberty Mutual would have a $50,000 deductible for that event when Travelers would not have, they would just have the normal $25,000 property deductible. So, any one of those claims would negate that savings there with Liberty Mutual, that $15,000. So again, it would be our recommendation to renew with Travelers at the $400,539. And again, Travelers did reduce their original renewal because of the competition from Liberty Mutual. We had a really good result with the workers' comp this year. The expiring premium is $149,331 with IPEP. The renewal premium is going to be $109,857 for a $40,000 reduction. That's being driven by the experience mod is reducing. The current experience mod is a 1.09, which anything over a 1 means that they are debiting your premium by that number. So you were getting a debit of 9% on your work comp premium, and that's based off the last 3 years of claims history. This year, that experience mod went down to a 0.8. So that's a 29% reduction in that experience mod number. Plus, we are using more accurate payrolls than what have been used in the past. You've been getting a return premium because you've been using higher payrolls. So this year, we just had the insurance company use the last audited payrolls that for the last policy term plus 5% to keep up with, any raises or increases that you would give. So we feel like the payroll's a lot more accurate on the workers' comp. We did get a competitive proposal from a company called Westbend on the work comp, but they were $5,000 higher than IPEP. And you have a lot of longevity with IPEP, and they insure most of the cities and counties within the state. On the cyber liability, Converge is the current cyber liability carrier. They did provide a renewal. It's $21,665. Their expiring premium was $19,696. So that's a $2,000 increase. And they're citing, all cyber liability carriers rate their premium off of your budget. So whenever there's a budgetary increase, their premiums go up. Now, we did send this out to market as well. Over the weekend, we got a really pretty good proposal. And I don't know how you want to handle this because it's about $6,000 less than the Converge renewal. So when you look at it percentage-wise, it's a pretty good savings. I had some questions on it though that I had to email the underwriter, and I don't have those answers back yet. It was just how some of their coverage lined up with the current coverage. So if those answers come back and they are favorable, I would probably recommend switching to that.
It says you have a $50,000 deductible option that would decrease the premium. Is that
That's on the current insurance.
current? Okay,
Yeah.
so this possible carrier,
Is at the $25,000 deductible with $6,000 less in premium.
and we're at the $25,000 deductible?
That's correct.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. And that $50,000 deductible, in my opinion, it didn't generate enough savings
Okay,
to warrant.
justify that.
Yeah, it was only at 800,000 and some change total compared to 545 last year. We did have a couple recommendations. The one maybe to talk about really is the employee dishonesty limit. The current traveler's policy only has $10,000 of coverage for employee dishonesty. Most of our municipalities carry a higher limit, so we did get a proposal to add 250,000 of employee dishonesty. So that's if you had employees stealing money, funds from the county. Most of your people that are handling money are bonded and have those position bonds, but it wouldn't be a bad idea, I don't think, because $10,000 if we did have an employee that was stealing money, would not go very far. That premium for the $250,000 employee dishonesty limit would be $2,659 annually. And that doesn't, if it doesn't have to be, that can be added at any point during the policy term. So it doesn't have to be decided on today.
What do you, and I like the IPEP, with our workman's comp, the decrease in that, but what do you see like next year? And I know this may be getting off just a little bit because we've had some workman's comp.
Focus on now, and the county's doing Patty in her office is doing a great job of making sure that employees are getting back to light duty positions if they are injured on the job.
Right.
Because if we can keep claims medical only, those claims are discounted by 70% when they go to calculate that experience mod number
Versus a salary.
versus if, the insurance company pays any lost time wages for that employee, they're going to count that claim at 100%. So the county's doing a great job of getting people back to work in light duty positions so we can keep those claims medical only and keep driving down our cost on the workers' comp side.
With the Bliss McKnight declining coverage because of Parks Department exposure, are there things that we can do out there to decrease risk from an insurance perspective?
No, you guys are doing they said you have all the policies and procedures that they would like to see in place, but you're a little bit different than most counties. The Parks Department exposure and working with children is just a little bit of a different risk, and not all insurance companies want to insure counties that have that exposure to children. So I don't think it's anything that you don't have in place or that you're not doing right. It's just, insurance company appetite. And Chubb we did approach Chubb, which is a national property insurance market, and they could not be competitive with either Liberty Mutual or Travelers on the property.
All right, so aside from the employee theft, or employee honesty,
Dishonesty policy.
dishonesty policy,
Dishonesty
theft.
policy.
What are your guys' thoughts just to handle the other portion with Travelers and then
I like the idea of travelers because, one claim can set us
Absolutely.
$50,000 apart.
Yeah.
It does make sense. I know it's $15,000 difference, but when we hit something with a deductible that is over that,
Yeah.
now we've flipped the balance. So
We all know we have claims,
we do. We do.
so it's a real thing.
Which makes sense. I get that.
I think Travelers.
I think it's
is the way to go.
$15,000 savings up front, but
Yep.
we're hedging our bets on not having any claims, and we have claims.
It costs us way more.
Right.
Yeah, so, and then Converge.
Yeah, that's the only one.
Liability.
How you want to handle that with the cyber liability.
What's our time frame on this?
We have until the 22nd, so
So we don't have
we've
that
got
meeting.
it'll get resolved today.
Okay. Well, maybe, I don't know if we, do you think Converge is,
Everything,
a better, same thing. I'd take the $6,000 savings
All right, so
if it bears out.
coverage lines up.
Right.
so on the Travelers, I'll make a motion that we accept and continue on with Travelers. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. On workers' comp, I'll make the motion that we stay with IPEP. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. on cyber liability, what was the name of the other company?
It is cowbell.
Cowbell?
Yeah, that's a
We
real
all
name.
need more cowbell.
Had to go there.
Had to go there.
I'll make a motion that contingent on Brady getting satisfactory information from Cowbell today, that we accept them for our cyber liability coverage. If that information does not come back satisfactory, then we proceed forward with Converge.
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. What are your guys' thought on the employee dishonesty?
What was the, I know it was 10K to 250K on coverage, but what was the increase in cost?
2659.
That's just the increase from currently what we have.
Correct. 2659.
But you said that one we don't have to make a decision on.
Not have to make a decision today. It can be added at any point during the policy term.
And that covers part-time employees as well as full-time, correct?
Correct.
Elected officials, part-time, full-time.
Yeah, your elected officials are going to be bonded, so they're going to have coverage through the bond that they carry. This is mainly for your people that are not bonded, that would be handling county funds.
Okay.
And I don't know what that number looks like for you guys and what the controls are that are in place. It may, and this may warrant a little bit more discussion.
That's what I'm thinking, a little bit
Yeah.
more.
I can get you a number.
Okay.
Okay. But I would agree that we should have a little bit more discussion on this prior to making the decision.
That works. All right, we'll get more information and
Okay.
we'll get back with you on that one. So if you can just email us and let us know about Cowbell and
Cowbell.
Converge.
Yep.
All right.
All right, thank you,
Thanks,
everyone.
Brady.
Thank you.
Brady, I do have a quick question. Right now, we have a blanket bond for employees. Would this take the place of that? No, we would still have that. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good point. So I want to see what that blanket bond looks like. So I'll get with you, Christie, after this and compare that to the employee honesty coverage, because it may take care of that.
Okay, so we already pay for a blanket bond. I'm not
For
non-elected officials.
okay.
Um,
That very well, depending on what that limit is, that could take care of meeting.
Okay, and I know it is more than, I think it's right around this or possibly more than this increase would be.
Okay, that'd
So
be great.
Perfect.
I'll have to double check that.
All right, that'd be good.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, moving on to the Portalets bid opening for the fairgrounds. Looks like we had 2 submissions. All right, the first is from Portalets Sanitation. They have 10 units on here for $2,050. I do have their certificate of liability insurance. That is good through 27. It included the daily cleaning of all 10 units. Okay. Yeah. And then Hoosier Sanitation, 10 units. Cleaning, $2,225. Certificate of insurance. Septic management permit. Okay. So we have one that's 2,050 and one that is 2,225.
Portalets did the work last year.
Yes, they did.
There was no issues that you heard from Fair Board or anything?
I mean, occasionally there would be one that was dirty, that needed cleaning, so there were some during the fair day, complaints, but, that I think was from daily usage or things that had happened that particular day.
And it hadn't got cleaned that evening because they do a daily cleaning.
Yes. That's my recollection of I think really the one.
Probably not preventable on their part?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
But I don't remember any complaints about toilet paper not being supplied or anything like that.
Last year, how many portalets did we have? Because
We had substantially more. What
we
was it?
reduced
20? Yeah.
Okay.
So we had reduced the number, the fair committee's recommendation was to reduce the number of portalets on the fairgrounds because we have the new community building with all of the new restroom facilities. So we will still have the portalets at the track, inside the track in the pit, and the back pits down by the horse barn, and a couple over towards the midway. But if you remember, there was like a row of portalets that was on the south end of the old community building. Basically all of those are going away because the new community building and the upgrade that has taken place at the farm and home bathrooms. So we have more capacity built into the fairgrounds now, so we could reduce the number of portalets that we needed.
Well, I would make a motion to go with the lowest bid portalet.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Thank you, Gabe. All right, animal shelter, new director, metrics and fundraising.
We have new animal shelter director here, Matthew Spear. I was able to go to their board meeting, and we had discussed about the probationary period and metrics, and/or goals or objectives, however you want to word that, for Matthew in his first 6 months. The animal director, president, Kim Henderson, and their board had given us, the commissioners, some of their thoughts on metrics. And then we had looked at those and kind of used what they had edited and/or added, corrected, so forth. And at the meeting, we talked about our additions to those metrics and kind of came up a collaboration and came up with a list. And so I've shared that with you guys. There was just a couple of corrections and a typo and edit, but for the most part, we've kind of agreed on some metrics. So you have those. So we'll share that with Matthew on what our expectations for the first 6 months. And then while we were discussing that, it also talked about maybe some fundraising and how do we want to approach that. And that fundraising was with the Friends of Decatur County Greensburg Animal Shelter. They currently are in a fundraising effort for a new animal shelter. And so, how do those proceeds look? Where do those proceeds go? There's been discussion about, does it go through the community foundation? So that's a discussion that we'd like to have this morning and thoughts. Gabe, you have used the community foundation for the pool project. You're very familiar with how all that flows. So that was kind of the impetus for this discussion.
Yeah, I set up a meeting for Matthew and I, and it's Friday, I think, at 2. So just waiting for a confirmation. But we're going to meet with the community foundation and look at trying to set up a new fund, there, that we could then have.
What are the advantages of that?
The donation, or the biggest advantage is that almost every entity or group is set up to donate through the community foundation versus, like, let's say county RDC or city RDC, anything like that. They have to rewrite their ordinance, to be able to donate or, pass funds through to somebody else. Versus the community foundation, it's an instant ACH, so it's a big benefit. Also, oversight, right? It's something that they manage a lot of
That's what
money.
they do, right.
They manage a lot of money, and they manage a lot of projects. So if they're gracious enough to take us on, then I think that's the route to go. There's a lot of money that passes in and out of that, building every month, and they do a really good job of facilitating it.
I think using the foundation is great. I look at what it did, like not just for the pool project, but for the fairgrounds project, where donations were directed towards the foundation. I think it gives a heightened level of legitimacy to the fundraising, that it's not just going straight into the county's coffers, that it's going to the specific fund for the specific purpose, and it's not being used for anything else.
And we haven't even talked about the benefit of the multiplying interest of those funds going into that account, and the investment, the interest earned on that as well.
So yeah, I would like to see funds that are generated through the fundraising campaign deposited with the community foundation. The benefit of having the Friends of involved with this project is there are grants that are available to them that would not be available to us individually. So it is a major benefit of having them involved with the project. And they have more resources as far as finding some of these grants as well. But I think you'll be able to help us with that on a heightened level now.
So I think we'll, pending your meeting with Tammy and Matthew and, going through that, Jenny Hanna, right? So, yeah, we'll see where that comes out, and then we'll proceed from there. Sound good?
I like it.
Okay.
Yep. And
Matthew,
Brenda?
you want to say anything or introduce yourself or get where you're from? What's your
Done the Pledge of Allegiance.
Hello, I'm Matthew, and
I'm sorry, I know you're not.
Yeah.
I know you're new to this, but it's a real problem. People can't hear you, so it's.
Hello, everybody. I'm Matthew, and I just moved back here from Colorado. I was previously a kennel technician at the shelter here in Greensburg. I'm excited to be back. A lot of my focus will be on training staff on different things and fundraising for obviously a new shelter building. So I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited to learn more.
And some of the work that you did in Colorado.
Yeah, I worked at a rescue as a community engagement manager, and I was also the assistant to the executive director at a rescue. So it's a 501c3 nonprofit. We participated in 2 capital campaigns, one to expand our shelter and then one to expand our veterinary services. So I'm ready.
You have a little experience in that
Yeah.
realm, which is good.
Yes.
Good.
Very good.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Brenda, thank you for
Your intern.
filling the gap. Your willingness to step up and do this, be the director during that period has been greatly appreciated. We've had a couple of things going on during that time period, so you may have bitten off a little bit more than you were planning on chewing there at the very beginning, but
We were very lucky to have you as a
we're
resource.
very appreciative of that. Yeah. Well, thank you.
And don't leave. We're not saying it's over. You don't mean you get. We still need you.
All right, moving on to the EMA storage building. Mike, Gary, team effort.
So we brought into you this morning some potential layouts, or at least some reference for what that new building in perspective may look like on the grounds, as opposed where it had been originally proposed at. I believe I'll let Gary speak more to any questions that you would have regarding moving forward with that, as this was his project before I got here, so.
Okay, the one thing, we talked with the sheriff Friday while we was laying this out, and they kind of agree this is maybe the best spot we can have it. I agree it's the best spot because adding the sheriff's 24 feet, I'm not sure it will fit where we were originally going to put it because of the electric pole and the electric transformer that's there. If it does fit, it's going to be right up tight against that other building. Now, talked to the fire chief, he said that's not a problem. It wouldn't even look good. So I think putting it over here is just the best way to be. it's pretty much the scale. I used the building that was there to measure it. And if you think about the new building is twice as wide and over twice as long. So that's the reason it looks pretty huge. There is a fire hydrant and a storm drain where I got the new driveway going through there, but I think there's enough room that'll go through there. And I think that because there shouldn't be any heavy trucks using that driveway, it would only be the sheriff, when they come over to get commissary stuff. All the heavy trucks should come in the other driveway. Now, the other thing we talked about is the county may want to cut that off to the lot that it's currently in and add it to the sheriff's lot.
Right.
I talked to the city about that. They said it's really not a huge deal other than having to go to a couple meetings, to request it. And it'd have to be surveyed, there'd be.
So the thought process is if we ever moved or didn't use that annex, this would all be attached to the jail as a property. Right. That's what you're thinking, right?
Right, so if you happen to sell the annex for some reason or something down the line, this is already attached to the jail.
Okay.
We had the prints and everything completed for our other building. To get the new prints drawn up, approved by the state and everything, it's another $6,000. That's what
It was all ready to go, well, for a while. And then Bill sheriff wanted to build another building, and then we had this proposal, why don't we make it one, right? So let's combine this into one. So I feel like, I'm gonna throw this on you, Bill, that like the $6,000 for the new drawings, you have money for that to pay for those new drawings to expand this building for your size as well.
So, quick answer is no, I do not.
Okay,
When I was proposing our building, I was proposing the special purpose jail tax, because it was part of our campus.
okay.
So that was the money I was requesting at that time. So the answer is no, I do not.
Okay. Because that's what we need to move forward, right?
Yes.
So we can submit it to the state of Indiana.
So if we go in and we survey this off onto jail property, and it's then attached to your property, do you have the money for it?
Again, that's gonna be a council question. Again, if we go back to the special purpose tax, it's part of the campus and part of the building.
Yeah.
That'd be a question for the-
I mean, ultimately, this saves us money, like,
Big time.
overall. This-
Yeah, I agree.
While we're talking about the 6,000.
Yep.
The cost of putting two different buildings up, and it's gonna be substantially more than expanding this one.
But we have to get the 6,000 to move forward. We've stalled this building for how long?
Yeah.
I'm sure Gary can tell us.
About a year and a half.
Yeah, so we need to move forward. We need
It
to,
wasn't all your fault. I mean, the architect kept.
I know, there were some issues.
Putting his back.
There were some issues there, but I want to, let's
P&I.
keep moving forward. He did make the comment to me about,
There's-
you're gonna get these other buildings built before me.
Yeah, I would, personally, I would just move that we pull it from P&I, plans and implementation, and get the project going forward.
I'm okay with that. I was just wanted,
I know we kind of helped cause this next delay, so while it's still for the betterment of taxpayer dollars to do this now, I'm okay with, since we caused this one to. So I would make a motion that we pay for the $6,000 for the architect to make the changes for the building to come from plans and implementation.
I'll second that motion. All those in favor say aye.
aye.
And those opposed, motion carries.
I will get a hold of the architect today to tell him to go ahead, because I already sent him the prints and the scope of work and everything for the change. And also, I had an email Friday from the TIF board president wanting to know what's going on, so I'll be able to contact him today.
Good.
And let him know what's going on, because they have a meeting Wednesday night.
Good.
So who's going to start the organization of looking at getting that surveyed in order to be moved into the sheriff's department's property, or the jail property?
Well, what we had done with the fairgrounds when we surveyed off that portion where the new community building's at, we had just contacted Andy and
I was just making sure we have a point person on it.
Is that, because I'm not sure, is that under his scope of work as a surveyor to just do that for us?
So technically, the surveyor doesn't actually have to be a surveyor. He is a surveyor.
Okay.
We still paid for the survey, for the fairgrounds.
But no, it's a separate thing. It's a contracted service.
Because it is city property, I mean, it's county property, but it's in the city, do we need to contact them to
Yeah.
to see if they have a survey?
Yes, for variances and,
Yep.
yeah. I think
Zach.
you can look through all those, Mike, work on that, yeah.
Well, why don't, because I've done it to this point, I'll just
Sure,
kind of continue to be the lead on this.
absolutely,
Would appreciate that.
yeah,
Thanks, Gary.
yeah, that
Thank you,
works.
Gary.
Anything else while you got the podium there, Mike?
Yeah, they do.
I believe we have the next time.
Okay, very good. The county resources request.
Yes.
So at the EMA meeting that I was with as well, Mike was talking about the Hoosier Burn Camp has been a longstanding program they do up near Lafayette. It's not in Lafayette, but proximity to. They have used our the EMA's ATV for a few years, and it has one of those medical basket sleds in it. That's the advantage of them using it, but
The the Kubota, like the UTV or the?
yes, the UTV, I guess it is, yeah. So they've used that, they've asked us to deliver it, pick it up, and it's kind of above and beyond our scope of delivering it up there in Lafayette and picking it up. So, we've told them, you can use that, but we're not picking it up and we're not delivering it. We're that's on you if you want to use it. Well, it seems like, every year it's like they ask and ask, and so it came to kind of a suggestion, the board, the EMA board is like, I don't know if this is, surely if somebody else has an ATV or UTV in that area, they could use versus, borrowing ours. So that was a question about resources. And then, Mike had also asked about, the Choppers for Coppers in St. Paul wanted to use our digital signs. And so we're talking about resources, and it's like, okay, so where do you draw the line on resources, the wear and tear on our equipment, whatever it is? And although they have the digital signs, it's all owned by the county.
Yeah.
So I said, well, maybe that's something, the discussion we would have as commissioners. It's under our purview or property, about loaning those things out, when it comes to that.
Yeah, I personally don't have much appetite to loan our equipment to, especially that far. It's an out of county. I don't. There's got to be folks that are around that area that have the equipment that's needed. I mean, that's not that uncommon.
I mean, almost every single fire department, police and sheriff's department have UTVs this day and age, and a lot of them have the carriers that are needed. How did that get started? Anybody know?
I think it happened when David Duckworth was EMA director, is my understanding. And I don't know exactly how, but they.
Rob Duckworth.
Yeah, Rob, excuse me, the other Duckworth. But anyway.
I remember when it
that's
happened.
My understanding is when it started.
Yeah, I remember that it was Duckworth and his affiliation, and then it was the fire department, because the burn camp, they would ask Greensburg Fire Department to deliver it, and then pick it up, and then the fire department's like, wait a minute. Then we started having to pay overtime to get somebody to go up there and pick it up, and it's like, okay, this is crazy. So that's kind of, I had said to these guys that, to Mike and Gary, that, okay, the burn camp is in a couple weeks, right?
Yeah, it's the end of this month.
And I said, okay, let them use it this year, but going forward, just let them know that if it's our discussion, that they need to find a new, UTV to use versus using ours.
And after the meeting, I did convey that to them. Also, additionally, they did state that they have a insurance rider on all UTVs. I said, thanks for that, appreciate that. I have not heard back from them since then, but I did relay that information to
I didn't want to leave them high and dry this year,
So
if they were depending on
I
it.
get it with it being a few weeks.
So this year they're coming down and they're getting it?
That's what they
want
were
it.
advised,
If,
yes.
if they want it, they're coming down to get it. Okay. Yeah, I'm okay with letting them use it for this year. And then we're not letting them borrow it again.
Okay, so, digital signs, other things that, like, equipment they have. And I think people have also asked to use their room. We came across that, and they weren't a 501c3, or they weren't a nonprofit. They were making money on some training, and they wanted to use the room, the large area. It's like, it's just, where does it end?
Right. What are the digital signs being used for the Choppers for Coppers?
I believe they were used to, this year the plan was to assist with their parking situation up there, to designate that with how the flag, they had loosely mentioned about having parking in a separate area, and one of those signs would be go to that. They had typically requested 2 of the pull-behind signs, and I said, how about if allowed to do this? You'd only take one of those, because I really want one of them at the office if there's a event that would need it.
Right.
I said, but we have standalone signs that, if approved, you could use one of those to supplement in place. It's just not extremely mobile. It's portable, but, trying to strike a happy medium there. But also, it was all pending of what you decide out of today as well.
And they have used them for 2 years.
Right. And if it's used in a way that benefits public safety, that's what they're designed for, right?
Yeah,
So
that's exactly what I was thinking, because like you go to a Colts game or something like that, there are those signs out there directing traffic to ensure that there is good flow, or that people are parking in the correct place, so that you minimize a negative impact on traffic flow.
I do get a little bit uncomfortable just giving them to somebody. It'd be different if we set them up and, again, there was a public benefit, or we're worried about traffic, or we're worried about, there being an accident. I mean, you guys use them for that type of thing, frequently, so
So my question then, if we allow, then they have to have some kind of a insurance or some way to, they're towing that thing and it's damaged or whatever, do they have a coverage, insurance coverage, liability for that, to replace it if they damage it? I would think so, for our safety, or, I don't know.
But I still come back to, it's not something we want to be loaning out.
I know.
They're kind of expensive, and they're very important.
Yeah.
There's times where pop-up, we need them, and I understand your point of making sure we want one back there, but I don't know. Loaning things out like that, and they get damaged, and who's responsible?
Well, I think that's where it comes back to what you had said, Gabe, is that we're the ones actually towing it there. Because I think you do have, I don't know how many Jeeps and motorcycles and everything else they have in this. I mean, they ride by my house every year, and it is massive, so it is a lot of people. So I do see, especially, here in Decatur County, that if everybody is converging on St. Paul, that there is a need for directing people to a specific location. So I do see the public safety side of it for this. On a general event of just throwing these signs out, no. But given the number of people that are coming into the area, I can see that there is a public safety perspective to this. But my preference would be is that a county employee is actually the one that is transporting it and setting it up.
Is that something that you guys have time?
Yeah, last year what we did was Gary and I took them up there and kind of set them up in the general location. I think they may have moved it a few feet, but, at that point it's just kind of push it. You didn't have to really hook it back up, but, yeah, that's something that we would do through the week.
If it's for the purpose of traffic and public safety and that, I'm okay with, if you guys have the time to do it.
Yeah.
Is it taxes your resources as well, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay, good.
Good. Well, that's good, extra good information,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm okay with loaning it. It was just more, I think, over an overall, like, our resources and how do we move forward with, not maybe this specifically, but as we're looking at resources. Because I think you get approached a few times of people wanting to use your stuff.
Right.
And it's like, where does that, do we just give Mike, like carte blanche? Mike, you proceed with how you feel, or does it come before us? How does that work?
I think you know a lot of the discretion, you two. I mean, what feels right, and you know, you also have a good sense of we need the equipment too, right?
Right.
So
And I know another popular resource is the use of our VHF radios that a lot of different organizations use, and we have those. We're pretty free about loaning those out, especially now that I've got the proper frequency set in that for public use, as opposed to found out that they were public safety frequencies, and have that more legally compliant with should be utilized. So we're pretty usually free about, okay, yeah, sure, you can have these. They're public frequencies anyway, but we've had pretty good luck with all that not being damaged and coming back fine.
I think the general starting position is we don't loan things out that's county property. In situations like the choppers for coppers, we have a public safety element to it.
and I think that one's looked as we're loaning it out, but really we're doing traffic control and
Yes.
stuff that we already do with them.
Yes.
The public.
So that I think is the general inclination. I think if it is going to a private event, there should be some type of insurance that covers that item being there. Yeah, because I just, something will happen at some point. We've done the same thing at the fairgrounds where we eliminated the use of the tractor and the maintainer down at the horse track and down at the horse arena and also at the track, because we don't want private individuals coming in and using county property and either breaking something or somebody getting hurt, and then the county's liable.
Right. Do we need a motion on that, or just as is?
As is.
Yeah, it's their public safety.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Anything else, gentlemen?
I do not have to.
Okay. Brian, do you have any update from EDC? Sure.
Really quick, the biggest update would be the ready funds for the blight removal, 2.9 million in addition to what we had received previously. Drawing a blank. I had it down here. That's how organized I am. Wanted to thank Mike for meeting with the local industries. We had a meeting talking about weather-related events, how those decisions are made in his office, and he mostly just blamed you guys. So
He said he didn't want to have one of those again.
yeah, well, but it was good to have the coordination between the local industries to know how those decisions are made, and then I think he walked away with a better idea of when their shift changes, when they need to know. So they're just better coordination in general. So I appreciate his time and helping you organize that. And then really the last month has been kind of dealing with tax abatements. Everybody has the reporting in. So one note: the city is reviewing their tax abatement guidelines, and I want to say that the county really doesn't have any written guidelines for their tax abatement evaluations for their applications, the SB1s. Something you guys might think about, and I'd be glad to share the cities with you guys if you want to do that. Especially under SB1, there's going to be some changes surrounding personal property tax abatements. So,
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Chris, anything from the Parks Department? All right, Don?
We do have our Leaders and Loggers, our monthly meeting tomorrow. That is from 4 to 6, 3 keynote speakers. So we're super excited about the lineup for this year. We did just get a report from Rolly Jobs, which is that website that's linked on our GDC Chamber website. So as long as a GDC Chamber member has their openings posted on their website, Rolly should be able to scrape that information and get it onto that resource. So another great benefit. And then we did just hit our 400th member over the weekend. So we're super excited about the growth that we're seeing there. So any questions for me? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Janet?
Just give you an update on the elections. We were able to, the county election board certified the votes on Friday at our meeting. So the turnout was great. As far as the new machines that we have and the new poll pads, they worked great. I wanted to do a special thank you to my election deputy, Patricia Luigi. Each year, like, it just runs smoother and smoother. IT made several comments to that fact as well. So I'm just really pleased how everything went so smoothly. Also, to all of my deputy clerks, we did have 3 of my workers had to actually work at the polls because of our people that last minute couldn't make it to work at the polls. So they were able to step in, and that also did really help. Election board's trying to make some changes as far as we do have a couple vote centers that we're not going to utilize anymore. So we'll get that notice out to the public before the general election, and that will help with funding as well to cut back a little bit. And then also special thank you to Mike Snyder and Charlie Davis. They really stepped up and helped us get everything set up, and we're there for anything that we needed as well as IT. So I just wanted to say thank you. Everything went really great this year. So
it was Let's, and there was one here in Greensburg for
First Christian Church.
First Christian Church. Were those just the lowest?
Those were the lowest, the turnouts, yes. And then also we have issues with connection for the internet, that kind of thing, just at Let's in turnout as far as workers. We have issues with that as well. So we do still have, the surrounding Millhouse and Westport. Those are all still, those will not change. We'll keep those. We have several in town as well. So we really didn't need to utilize First Christian Church as well. So
It makes sense. A little consolidation.
When
Yes.
we went to voting centers.
yes. The vote centers have been huge for us.
Yeah,
It's been amazing. So it's cut down on calls as far as people last minute calling, why can't, where are we supposed to vote out if we can't vote here, and then they don't have time to make it across the county or anything like that.
Okay.
So yep, it's been great. Otherwise, everything's good. We're getting ready to go to summer conference here in a couple weeks, and it's going great.
All right.
Yep.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for all your hard work, both of you.
Sheriff, anything?
No, sir, I don't think so.
All right, very good. Leanne, anything from communications? Nope. Nope. Anything from the auditor's office?
We are going to conference in the morning. They've changed our dates, so we will be gone Tuesday morning through, we will be back Friday day, all day for work. There will be a couple in the office, so limited services.
All right, very good. Anything else?
Nope.
All right, very good. I would entertain a motion to recess then.
So moved.
We are recessed. Thanks, everyone.